and welcome back to Community Crossfire. I'm Zanthia Oliver, Councilwoman for the 3rd District. I have a special guest on tonight. I'm really honored to have on. No need for introduction because everybody in the state knows her, but I am going to allow her to introduce herself and give us her titles.
Well, thank you so much, Council Member, for having me on. It's wonderful to be back on Community Crossfire. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sarah McBride. I'm the state senator representing the 1st State Senate District in the Delaware State Senate. And most importantly, right now, I am the Democratic nominee to succeed our wonderful Congresswoman Lisa Blunt Rochester in the United States House of Representatives. So I'm excited to be on to chat about some of the issues.
Yes, thanks again for coming on. You're currently in the state Senate. Tell us about your work that you've done over the last 2 years.
Sure. So during my 2 terms in the Delaware General Assembly over the last 4 years, we've been able to deliver real and meaningful progress for Delawareans here in Wilmington and across the state. When I announced my campaign for the state Senate, I said that my focus in the Delaware General Assembly was going to be on expanding access to health care and passing paid family and medical leave. Now, these were priorities that were rooted in the needs that I was hearing from neighbors, hopefully future constituents, as I was knocking on people's doors in 2019, talking with folks who were talking to me about the high cost of healthcare, about the challenge in getting care for themselves or a loved one, and the challenge of raising children. And so many people increasingly are in what we call this sandwich generation, where they're raising kids and they're taking care of aging parents all at the same time. And unfortunately, we just don't look out for those folks like we should in this state or in this country. And so I said that my focus was going to be on making sure that everyone could get the time and ability to get the care and support that they need, to raise a family, to get health care that they need, to take care of a loved one. And during the last 4 years, during my time in the General Assembly, I've led the bipartisan efforts to expand access to healthcare here in Delaware, to expand coverage to communities and services too long denied coverage, to recruit more providers to Delaware so that we have a quality provider, primary care provider, OBGYN, dentists in the area that people live. And just this past June, passing my bipartisan Protect Medicaid Act of 2024, which is the largest largest investment in our state's Medicaid program since the Affordable Care Act was passed in 2010 by President Obama.
Yeah, that's real big.
It is big.
Yeah, and kudos to you. Several people called me about that, and they were very excited. Now, I'm glad. I want to stay on that for a minute.
Yeah.
So what did that do exactly when you say biggest in Obama? Give me an example.
So in 2010, President Obama passed Obamacare.
Correct.
And one big part of Obamacare was an expansion of Medicaid, which now 1 in 4 Delawareans rely on for health coverage. Right. Okay. And so there was an expansion to cover more people here in Delaware back in 2010. This is the largest infusion of new cash into that program annually since the Obamacare was passed, which means that not only are we protecting the Medicaid program here, but we're going to have over $175 million annually to expand coverage to more people, to improve the coverage that people have under our state's Medicaid program, to increase the reimbursement rates to providers so that more providers participate and take Medicaid from patients. And so this is going to be able to take this program and really take it to the next level.
Now, let me ask you, I know the other day I have some lists of some providers, but how do we get an updated list? Do we Google? How do we get an updated list? Is it something someone can send over so I can share it?
Yeah, well, certainly happy to help share a list with you of providers. But we ultimately need more providers here in Delaware.
Wow.
We don't have enough providers. So dental care, for instance, is an issue that I've worked on in the Delaware General Assembly. Henrietta Johnson, just over in Southbridge, they have a beautiful dental clinic that was operating at reduced capacity. They were having trouble recruiting dentists. I passed a bill working with Henrietta Johnson that opened up our state to more dentists. And now Henrietta Johnson, Westside Family Health, also here in Wilmington, Lored down in Sussex, they're now operating at full capacity in terms of dental care. increasing their dentist workforce fourfold in the case of these federally qualified health centers, which means thousands of more patients here in Wilmington and across the state of Delaware who struggle to get health care now have access to new dentists.
Wow, that is great. And I know because I grew up on the Southbridge, and I know at least 4 people who have shared with me, because I'm constantly over there with different people's houses, that they are very impressed with the dental program at Henrietta, and kudos to you. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Now let me ask you another question. How does it feel for you as an individual who really, you was politically involved and you never held an office, but now you're thrust into this political office? How does it feel?
Well, I am grateful that I've had the opportunity over the last 4 years to serve the district that I was born and raised in the Delaware State Senate. I'm excited about the prospect and the opportunity to serve this whole state as the member of Congress. And you know, I love Delaware. Delaware has supported me and sustained me through some of the most difficult challenges in my own life, including when I served as a caregiver to my husband during his battle with terminal cancer. And this state, not only was it there for me through caring for Andy, my late spouse, through marrying him, through walking him to his passing, but also it helped me heal. Right. This state helped me heal. Right. And it's one of the reasons why I decided to run, because I want to give back to this state that I love. And I've seen Delaware at its best. I want to make sure that every Delawarean is able to get the support and the love that I was able to receive from this state when they face inevitable hard times. It's why I introduced and passed paid family and medical leave, because I was able, when I was caring for Andy, to be able to keep my job, to be able to keep my income while taking time off to care for him. He was able to keep his income while he was getting cancer treatment. That allowed us.
It makes a difference.
It makes a huge difference. It allowed us to pay our rent. It allowed us to keep food on the table. It allowed us to pay our car insurance. And too often, folks, when they face, whether it's bringing a child into their family or a serious illness, they face the loss of their income or even the loss of their job. And that's unbearable.
That's right.
For people. And so in the Delaware General Assembly, one of the policies that I was really proud to pass was paid family and medical leave, so that in this state, workers no longer have to choose between their health and their paycheck, between their family and their job.
What's the extension on that now?
So it's going to go into effect in 2026. And basically what it is it's an insurance program that we're going to pay into. And then when you have a child, or when you get care, when you get care for a serious illness, or when you're caring for a parent, a child, or a spouse who's getting treatment for a serious illness, you get to go on this insurance program and get partial wage replacement when you're out on leave.
That's really
so you
good.
get to continue to get paid while you are facing these inevitable challenges of life. And that's exactly the type of policy that I believe not only...
What House bill? I mean, what Senate bill is that?
It was called Senate Bill 1, and it passed in 2022. And it's going to go into full effect in 2026 to give that...
I'm telling you, you've done a great job down Legislative Hall.
Thank you.
And I don't want to get off track, but I want to say I saw you on Good Morning America. I watch it, every Sunday, or I tape it if I don't get a chance to watch it. And I'm looking, they like, I'm like, she's from what? I'm going crazy. And it's a good feeling when it's one of your own hometown individuals, doing very well. I mean, I'm just so proud and excited for you. And you do the work. It's not just that you don't do the work. You're out there doing the work. When I'm around people and we're talking about the Senate, it seems like you're one big family down there. And it's good to hear. I hear a lot of good things about, this is one of the best senators in a long time, and the Senator this, and Senator McBride, and just all of y'all working together. And sometimes it's hard to work with a lot of individuals, and it seems like you've been able to be bipartisan.
Yes.
And I'm just glad to hear that. And I heard you went to Georgetown. Was it Georgetown? They said college? Okay. George Washington University. I was like, wow. Well, you Harris McDowell retires. Then you become the senator. Carper retires from Congress. And that, how do you handle, I guess, all the exposure, all the excitement? And one thing I like what you said on Good Morning America, it's not just about me being transgender. It's about me putting in policies, doing the work. Because you wouldn't have whatever a person, no one would be supporting you
Yep.
if you wasn't doing the job. And that's what I think is important.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, because
Yes.
that is what Delawareans have shown time and time again, that they are judging candidates based on their ideas, not their identities.
That's right.
They are fair-minded. And the fact that I have had the opportunity to serve for the last 4 years in the state Senate is a testament to them. The fact that I will hopefully have the opportunity to serve in the United States House of Representatives is a testament to Delawareans and the fair-mindedness of this state.
Fair-mindedness.
And, you know, I didn't run for the state Senate, and I'm not running for Congress to be known for only one aspect of who I am.
When I heard you say that, I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
That's a good way. I never heard you say that before, and I'm sure you have, but to hear it on TV, I was like, and she's right, because she works hard.
That's right.
And you
that's
work
what
hard.
We need a member of Congress to follow the big shoes, follow in the footsteps of Lisa Blunt Rochester as she goes to the U.S. Senate, who's going to be ready on day one.
And you're ready.
And I'm ready.
Yes, you
I
are.
have a proven track
Yes,
record
you
of
have.
rolling up my sleeves, diving into the details, bringing people together, and delivering real and lasting change. I don't want to be known for one election. I want to be known for helping to build an America where every person can get affordable health care,
That's right.
where every family can get affordable child care and affordable housing, where our communities are safe from gun violence, where reproductive freedom is protected across this country. Those will be my priorities in Congress, just as they've been my priorities in Dover. And all of the other stuff doesn't matter, because ultimately this election isn't about me. It's about the voters. It's about the needs of Delawareans, and it's about delivering for them.
I agree. But you know, one thing I do have to say, it's about opening doors also.
That's true.
I mean, it's about opening doors, and it is what it is.
Yes.
And times have changed.
Yes.
It used to be a time people wouldn't accept that.
Yes.
But now, you know, it's no longer.
Yeah.
I mean, and God bless America.
That's
you know,
right.
My nephew is he's gay, and he is the producer at CBS.
Wow.
And it used to be a time he wasn't accepted.
Yes.
He's accepted. He's a hard worker. He's a producer, 30-something years old at CBS. It's not about that, but it is about that. It's about opening the doors and
Yes.
opening people's eyes, and it's realistic. It's reality nowadays. And, you know, we have to grow.
We do.
And I'm glad. So, you know, you don't want to be known for that. But guess what? I'm glad you are, and I'm glad you don't mind talking
Thank
about
you.
it. And
Thank you.
door being open for the next person, you know, and that's that.
Well, thank you. You know what?
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And,
Yes.
and I will say,
The truth is a light.
it is such a reflection of how far we've come as a country,
That's what I like.
that our hearts have opened and our minds have changed, right? We are all God's children.
That's right.
And we
Thank
don't
you,
have to
Jesus.
understand what it's like to walk in another person's shoes to understand that that person is a person.
That's right.
And we should look at them for all they have to bring to the table. We should recognize the full range of their passions, the full range of their talents. And I'm just sitting here asking to have the opportunity to serve, to give back.
Well, I want you to know, I don't endorse people because, I mean, Congress is way out of my level. But I am here to endorse Senator Sarah McBride for Congress. Anyone that I know, you know how we are. And hopefully we will get out and vote November the 5th for Kamala Harris and that whole ticket.
Yes.
And especially Kamala, but especially my hometown girl, Senator Sarah McBride. One other question: what will your priorities be in Congress? You kind of just mentioned that. Another thing I have wrote down. You know, Congress seems to be dysfunctional, bipartisan. It feels almost impossible. What would your approach be working across the aisles?
Sure.
Because I mean, looking at them on TV, it does seem, and hearing, you know, I guess it's in any, any state legislator, any legislative body, but it just seems to be dysfunctional.
Yeah. You know, when you turn on the TV or when you open social media, it's easy to get discouraged, and it does feel like Congress is a mess. And right now, the House of Representatives is a mess. We've got the Republican majority in the House of Representatives is a caucus of chaos and incompetence. I mean, they do not know what they are doing. They can barely keep the lights on, and they certainly aren't moving our country forward.
Right.
I'm proud that in the Delaware General Assembly, nearly every bill that I have introduced and passed has passed with bipartisan support.
Good.
And that's not just on small technical bills. That's on big major policy like the Protect Medicaid Act of 2024, like paid family and medical leave, where I was able to bring Democrats and Republicans together. And I want to continue to do that in Congress, because at the end of the day, whether Democrats are in control or Republicans are in control, we do have to have conversation across disagreement. We have to figure out how to work together, how to compromise, how to move the ball forward. Because at the end of the day, the problems we're facing aren't Democratic or Republican problems. They're American challenges. And we need shared solutions to meet those problems and to conquer them. And you know, when you talk about what I want to do, I did touch on it, but I think, you know, right now there are just so many people who are watching at home who are struggling to keep up with rising costs. Yeah. There are so many people right now who feel and see the American dream as unaffordable and inaccessible, right? I mean, folks who can't afford to buy a home, parents who can't afford childcare for their kid, folks who are getting paid a wage that doesn't cover just basic needs. And so it's why in Congress I'll continue to fight for a higher minimum wage, like I've done here in Delaware. We're going to be a $15 minimum wage state come January 2025, but we need national progress there. I'm going to push for federal investment in housing so we can build more affordable housing here in Delaware, so that cornerstone of the American dream is more accessible for people. Right now, we've got parents who have little kids. They're trying to get their kids into a child care facility. Oh my God, and the lists are so long that you have to sign up before you even know you're pregnant. And even if you get a slot, the costs are impossible. And so you've got a situation where for some people it makes more sense for them to leave the workforce entirely to stay home with the kids than it does to stay in the workforce and pay for child care. And so I am urgently fighting for affordable childcare at the federal level, so that parents can get a quality early childhood education for their kids, and so that they can go back to work and do all that they need to do to help raise their kids and support their family and pursue their passions and their dreams. You know, these I think are some of the most important issues for this country, for this state, and we aren't going to be able to grapple with those issues if we don't get the federal government to act. And in order to do that, we have to send people who know how to make government work to federal office. And that's why I decided to run.
All right. And I truly believe that when you get in Congress, you won't forget about Wilmington, Delaware. You know, some people get in certain positions and they forget where they come from. And, you know, I'm glad we have a Congress now of individuals who will continue to look out for Wilmington, because Carper looked out for Wilmington. He is going to be missed. Everybody in Washington talks about it. People around Wilmington talking about, you know, hopefully, you know, people remember what Carper did for Wilmington. So, and I know you will do the same, not forget where you come from and not forget to support the state of Delaware.
Well, and I'll just close on that, because I think you're absolutely right. I was born and raised in Wilmington.
Right.
I went to elementary school on the east side at 5th and Pine.
Oh, yeah.
So Wilmington is not only my home, it's my heart.
Okay.
And I know, as someone who's not only grown up here in Wilmington, not only as someone who lives here in Wilmington, but as a state legislator, I know that Wilmington is the engine of our state. It's the engine of our economy. And we've got to have a thriving Wilmington in order to have a thriving Delaware. And so, you know, whether it's passing the policies that make this city and this state a better place to live, work, and raise a family, whether it's delivering investment to this state to build out our infrastructure, to build out housing, regardless of what it is, I am going down to D.C. should I win on November 5th.
When you win.
When I win on November 5th. Your lips to God's ears.
Yes, right.
To hit the ground running to deliver for this state, because I love Delaware, and I know that we can continue on our state's journey to more fully living up to our values as a state of neighbors, to build a Wilmington where every young person can get a quality education, where every family is safe from violence. We can build a Delaware that has an economy that works for everyone if we continue to have those partners at the federal level who go to D.C., but their minds and their hearts are always in Delaware.
Sarah, you sound like you're already in Washington. I just love it. Now, let me ask you two more questions. What is at stake for this
Yeah.
election. What's at stake? Because I don't think a lot of people realize what's at stake. And I try to, do little videos. I try to put little things out there to tell people to vote.
Yeah.
It's important. I mean, you figure 20%, that was unheard of. That was ridiculous. And I said it last week, and I'm going to say it this week. That is a reflection of the Democratic Party. My opinion. You mean to tell me 20% of Democrats came out? I mean, where's the excitement around here? I mean, Biden's only from Delaware. Well, he's not from, but he's lived here long enough that he's a Delawarean, right?
Yeah.
So we have Councilwoman Harris' office. They was nice enough to even keep the same employees. Baltimore, the office is still here. Where's the enthusiasm to bring it down on the ticket?
Well,
I think it's unfair. Excuse me.
No,
I think
yeah.
it's unfair that I'm not saying people are not doing their part, but we have to step up.
Yeah.
We have to step up our game. I mean, Sussex and them, they're down there. Their numbers are picking up. They're doing. We have to step up our game and get more involved and get people more involved and stop sitting around and complaining. No, come up with a new idea. Get with some of the youth. Sit around the table. What can we do better? And all this stuff about don't want to pay people. It's only one day for election day. That's why people came out and voted.
Yep.
I mean, you know where I'm going with
Yeah.
it. I mean, people say, oh, no, well, you can get some volunteers, but everybody's just not going to volunteer.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean it. So, and I'm not saying, and it's the truth, because you need some people. I mean, I volunteer all the time.
Yeah.
But then if I get another 50, 60 people, so what, they want to soda them some potato chips or something. So what, they might want something to eat.
Yeah.
And I remember Carper said, when we worked with him, he said, guess what I'm going to do? Whatever it takes me to win, if I had to do this, that's what I'm going to do to win. Because once I win, I'm okay.
Yeah.
So you can sit back and say, oh, no, Senator Holloway, anybody's been in office for generations or, periods of a long period of time, they made sure they looked out for the people.
Yeah.
I mean, you got family members who go and volunteer, but you got some people that just for that one day.
Well,
It doesn't make sense to me that we on this kick now, and I mean I got 50 volunteers, but the other 20 might just need, like, it's hard out here.
A warm lunch, a
They
warm
might
breakfast.
a warm breakfast.
Yep.
What's wrong with that?
No, I think that's
20%. For this to be a Democratic state, and only 20% of individuals came out and voted for the primary.
Yeah.
For me, it was heartbreaking.
Well, I think you're absolutely right that we have to mobilize people.
Yeah.
We have to meet people where they are, at their doors, in their high rises. We have to go out into the community and talk with people, and we need candidates doing that. We need volunteers doing that. We need our teams doing that.
That's right.
Across the state, and certainly here in the city of Wilmington. And it's been a central part of my campaign to make sure that we're knocking on doors.
Oh, I saw your people out there.
Yeah,
I saw
and
your
we're
people out there,
continuing
and they
to
were
do that.
working.
We are knocking on doors for not just my campaign, but for Delaware Democrats up and down the ballot here in Wilmington and across the state of Delaware, so that we mobilize people in this general election, because there is a lot at stake. There's a lot at stake for the city. There's a lot at stake for the state, and there's certainly a lot at stake for our country.
Yes.
I'm sure a lot of people who are watching have heard of Project 2025. Mm-hmm. This is a 900-page plan that was put out for the Trump transition, should Donald Trump win. And this plan is dangerous. It would take our country back 100 years or more. It would decimate the benefits and the programs that Delawareans have relied on for generations. And right now, Donald Trump's pretending like he doesn't know what Project 2025 is, even though it was written by 150 former Trump administration officials, even though it was
150 of them.
It was produced by something called the Heritage Foundation, which has been for 4 decades the brain of the National Republican Party. He's pretending like he doesn't know what it is, but he knows exactly what it is. And my Republican opponent, in our one and only debate, stood on stage and endorsed Project 2025.
No.
He called it a plan to restore our republic. And that means that in this election, on November 5th, we have a choice between someone who will move this country forward or someone who wants to take us back. Instead of protecting Social Security and Medicare, Project 2025 and my Republican opponent will gut them. Instead of improving our public schools and expanding access to childcare, Project 2025 and my Republican opponent will defund them. Instead of making sure that our school curriculum teaches all of our history, including Black history, they will ban the teaching of Black history in our schools. Instead of expanding access to abortion care, they will eliminate it in this country. And so the stakes could not be higher.
That's right.
We've got Republicans from Donald Trump to my Republican opponent who want to take this country back. And as Kamala Harris says, we are not going back. But for us to not go back, for us to move forward, for us to turn the page on the politics of the past, we need people to show up and vote. October 25th, they can start early voting, or November 5th, they can vote on Election Day.
Wow, I really appreciate. I really appreciate you saying that, and people need to know that this Project 25 is really serious, and not take it for granted. And think, oh, they don't, they just talking, or he's just talking. No, just as you said, I hear people saying, if he said it, he will do it.
Yep.
And it's really unfortunate that people are not taking this election as serious. Oh. I heard somebody say, well, it doesn't matter. It does matter. It does matter.
It does matter. I mean, think about the seniors who would see their Social Security and their Medicaid and their Medicare and Medicaid, for that matter, decimated if this election goes the wrong way. Think about the young people. They want to eliminate the Federal Department of Education, which means they would eliminate what's called Title I funding for our public schools, which is funding for our public schools from the federal government here in the city of Wilmington and across the state of Delaware. The schools that teach students living in poverty, teach students who are English language learners, they would eliminate that funding for our public schools. Look, we have a long way to go to make sure that every young person in Delaware can access a quality public education regardless of their zip code. But the last thing we should be doing is taking away funding from our highest need schools. We should be investing more in those schools.
I really appreciate you, Sarah. Come on, what would you like to say in closing remarks?
Well, thank you again for having me on. And as I said at the start, Lisa Blunt Rochester, as she moves on to the Senate, she leaves big shoes to fill. I'm honored to have her enthusiastic support to follow in her footsteps in the United States House of Representatives, because at the end of the day, we need someone who knows how to deliver for Delaware, who's going to move our state and our country forward, not take us back. And so I need your vote. You can early vote on October 25th moving forward, or you can vote on Election Day at your polling location, November 5th from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. The most important thing you can do over the next 2 weeks is to have your voice heard, because this election will be the most consequential election of our lifetime. And we get the government that we vote for, but we have to show up to get that government. So please turn out, and I hope to earn your support. Sarah McBride, the Democratic nominee for Congress.
Thank you. Sarah McBride for November the 5th. As she stated, October the 25th, you can do your early voting. You can go right to the state building inside there and go to the Department of Elections, show your ID, and do your early voting. Please get out and vote November the 5th. It's very, very important that we all get out and vote. Make sure you bring somebody in your household with you. Bring your son, your daughter who's 18. We just had a big voter registration drive for some youth. Please bring your youth out and vote. Just don't register them. Make sure they get out and vote. And make sure you go to Department of Election, double check. Don't wait till the last minute so you're up there arguing with somebody. Get out and vote. November the 5th, Democratic Party. It's very important. And we'll be right back with Community Crossfire.
You got to pay back. Revenge.
Welcome back to Community Crossfire. I'm Councilwoman Zanthia Oliver. I represent the 3rd District. I'm here with a candidate that needs no introduction. Everybody knows him because he is around, he's always out and about, and he's always doing great work in our community. My friend, Mr. Hackett, could you please introduce, say your whole name and everything to me?
Oh, I sure can. Well, I'm Alexander Hackett, candidate running for City Council At-Large for the city of Wilmington.
Thank you, Mr. Hackett. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Several questions. You've always been an entrepreneur and always in the community.
Yeah.
I want to start off. What business opportunities are you doing now? I mean,
I've always been involved in athletics. So I own an athletic company, which is Players Only Athletics. I do all the athletic gear for all the high school basketball, football, soccer, lacrosse. Any high school that need any supplies, they're calling me now, which has been wonderful. And I've been embedded in education. When I came home in 2018, I wanted to be an educator. My mom was an educator, so I went into Kumba Academy Charter School. But I had to start in a staffing agency. And when I started in the staffing agency, I seen the opportunities that it was able to provide for people that was graduating from college, didn't know what they wanted to do, but wanted to go into education or wanted to go anywhere. And I started my own staffing agency. So I staff all the schools. I staff even community buildings for janitorial staff. Whatever somebody need, I can staff now. Okay. So, I've been doing a lot of great work around staffing and helping our next generation of
I know
people.
you've hired. I know you've hired a couple of people for me, so I really appreciate that.
Always.
Now, November. You've been selected as one of the council members at large, and now you have to run again on November the 5th. How does that process? Because if you're the top 3, I thought that was it.
Well,
so what happens now?
Well, I think in previous years, I think that just how the nature of things went. If in the primary, if it was 5 candidates, only 3 went for Democrats, and then as the general election went, you had the Republicans or the independents and different candidates, and always those 3 Democrats, because we're a Democratic state, will move forward. So I think it set the precedent. That's how it's supposed to be, but that's not in any bylaws or anything like that. I think in our Constitution it says the top 4 out of the 5 or top 4 out of how many is running will proceed and be selected as the next council. So, I'm just eager. I'm excited. I tell everybody, nobody's gonna work harder than me. Mm-hmm. We're getting ready. My team is gearing for this Friday, the start of early voting. Okay. I'm gonna be at the PAL every day.
Okay, tell us about that early voting. What time does it start?
It starts at 7 a.m. and it's over at 7 p.m.
Okay.
And I think, give them some time, because they still got to set up and be prepared. I'll be there at 7 a.m. Right in front, sitting out there with my table, with my speaker. Okay. And I tell everybody, don't wait to vote on November 5th. Let's get it done now. Yeah. We got a lot of things going on, work, people are traveling. But the biggest thing is you get an opportunity to meet the candidate that's going to represent you if you haven't already. And if you have met me already, more questions to ask, come down and let's talk and let's chat.
I'm glad you said that. I totally agree with getting out to vote early.
Yeah.
I always vote early. I'm not going to stand in line November the 5th when I had the opportunity. Everybody's different, and those who get out to vote, that's important. But for me, I agree with what you just said. You don't have to wait until November the 5th. If it starts this Friday?
This Friday. And I think the biggest thing is so many people have had different things going with their voter registration. So if it was, they didn't know what party they was, if they didn't know if they could vote or not vote. So if you come early, you already get the opportunity to see where your status at. And if you want to move forward, you can move forward. Now, if you're like, I got to get some things situated, you're way ahead of the time before November 5th. That's so right. I always tell people, my friends, my family, if you know me, if you support me, let's get it done now, though.
That's right. So. That's right. Let's count them votes early.
Let's count. Let's get them in. Yeah.
I like that. Now let me ask you, what are two of your goals that you would like to see for your constituents for the city of Wilmington? Just 2 of them.
The biggest thing for me is always going to be affordable housing. We need more of it. We got a lot of vacancies, so trying to figure out how we could turn these vacancies into our community that need to be first-time home buyers, or just being in first-time, or just being in affordable housing. But you see so many people, and that system starts. I'm an educator at heart. My mom was an educator. I went educated, and I think some people always say, well, Wilmington has no real pull in education, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of it happens at Dover. But that's not true, because a lot of the outside things that happen, housing. I was seeing kids that didn't have a roof over their head, so how can they come and learn? So we got to tackle that. Then we talk about their parents. One of the biggest things, how can we get more people jobs? we have a lot of open jobs, but are we preparing our people to be able to walk into these jobs? So there's a lot of people development that needs to happen. I'm fine with being that guy.
Right.
And then just a lot of, when we talk about workforce development, not even the adults, but our teenagers.
That's right.
You know, Reach Riverside is doing a great job where those kids can come over there and learn good skills, but get paid.
That's right.
How do we do that all over our city of
Yeah.
Wilmington so that kids are not just hanging out and figuring out how they're going to get money? They can go into a facility like Wilmington City Community Center
I'm glad you
and start
said that.
working, learn how to do their resume, learn how to interview, and get paid doing it.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I was going to say, Wilm Hicks is doing a good job.
Yeah.
The only thing you got to do is make sure you get your kids to.
Yeah.
You know. I'm gonna back it up. A lot of people say, "Oh, it's nothing for the kids to do." Yes, it is. I mean, you got Wilm Hicks Anderson. That facility's open. They have computers in there. They have a whole lot of activities in there. It's not just basketball. You also have, Reach Warehouse. I mean, the warehouse over there. I mean, they're doing a lot of great work with our youth over there. You have the PAL Center.
Yeah.
PAL Centers, I mean, Purnell, so you had 3 great community centers that's doing very well.
For sure.
And so, and you also had Browns and Boys Club.
Yeah.
So, you know, oh, it's nothing for the kids. Yes, it is. It's about you telling your kids to get off the telephone and go to one of these facilities. And they don't even realize all the opportunities that's in there.
No.
You know, and lastly, I just went to the Job Corps. 16 to 24, they got free culinary arts, GED.
Yeah.
I mean, the construction.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a lot over there. I mean, and everybody keeps saying, "Oh, the kids out here is not for." Yes, it is.
And
It's just that your kids are telling you what to do.
Right.
See, it used to be the adults tell the children what to do.
Yeah.
And now the children are saying, "Oh, I'm not going there. Ain't nothing over there. I don't feel like that." What you mean you ain't? It was unheard of for me to say I'm not going to the neighbor house. You're going to the neighbor house. I mean, so I just had to piggyback. So continue.
No. I totally understand. But my mom, told me when we left from PS DuPont, we walked all the way to Brown Boys and Girls Club, and we stayed there till 8 o'clock. And my message to all the
What
parents
y'all
today,
do?
we walk.
Yeah, they don't walk anymore. So,
My parents today, I'm telling all parents today, get a break. You need a break.
Yeah.
So drop your kids off to William Sanderson Community Center, MSK, Hilltop, or the PAL, and give yourself a
MSK,
break.
yeah,
Give yourself a break
Hilltop,
because you need
you're
it.
right.
Yeah, and they got some good people in there. They got some good programs.
Yeah.
And that was another thing. I think, our community today, we just got to continue to expose them to certain different things, because a lot of times when things are brought about, sometimes they just didn't know about it. And I could be honest, I know that it's some things that I didn't know about that I'm just now seeing, and I'm like, wow, I didn't even know that was there. So
I agree with that, but when you have youth, you gotta move around, figure out some stuff. You can't just be letting them stay in the house on the telephone. You know, I have a godchild, and I had to go get her and bring her over to the warehouse. She knew about it, but she's like, oh, no, but didn't you know about it? Yeah, didn't you know about, Wilm Hicks Sanders? Yeah. So they know, but they just like, they need somebody to pull them.
Yeah.
Because the social media is something else,
It is.
But we got to get over that. Let me ask you another question. So, you're great. Be honorable Hackett on City Council shortly, because I truly believe that you're going to win your election November the 5th.
I don't think nobody's calling me honorable though. Some people already started, and they was like, you know what? I'm calling him Alex. I don't know, no matter what, I'm calling him Alex.
But I mean, whatever you allow them to call you, that's up to you.
Yeah.
But once you get sworn in, you're going to always be the honorable.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you can be on your Facebook saying I'm Mr. Fifth Digit, you're the honorable.
Yeah.
I mean, you
For sure,
earned
for
it.
sure.
Look,
Oh,
I mean,
no.
I'm just saying
Trust me.
you got the votes for it. And I mean, people laughed at Mike Brown, but you couldn't call Council Member Mike Brown nothing but Council Member Brown.
Right.
If you called him just Mike, no. I earned that.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of nothing, he didn't. And I mean, people, but I get it. You know what I mean? It's all in, with me, people still call me Ampy or whatever. So, I mean, I'm not so thin-skinned with it.
Right.
But in certain atmospheres, you should be respected
Yes.
and called, what you
Yes.
earn. So let's talk about any upcoming events that you have.
Yeah, so currently this weekend, I'm still the director of Community Cares of Delaware, which is my nonprofit, and we're having our Trunk or Treat second annual right there at Rodney Square, which has been amazing. We have over 50 cars. We try to do all the electronic, like the Tesla. So I got a Tesla. We got the Cybertruck coming. We partnered with DETV, First Day Youth Movement, and the CEB building this year. So it's going to be a crazy event.
What time does it start? Do you have a flyer?
This Saturday, the flyer. We're going to make sure we put the flyer up, but it's this Saturday from 3 to 6 p.m. right there, like I said, right there at Rodney Square. We blocked off 10th to 11th of Market Street. So, we got a group of 50 cars. We probably got over 1,000 pieces of candy, and we're giving out hot dogs, hamburgers. So we got a lot, and I can't wait.
I talked to your mom about it, but I just need a flyer, so I've been spreading it, but I would like to bring a group of kids
Bring
up
them
there.
through. Bring them through. The more the
and
merrier.
what's the ages 3?
Any kid. The
when
idea
does it
before.
really start, though?
It's going to start at 3.
No, I'm saying, the age bracket. Just
I would say be honest with you, I'm say around about 4 or 5, and
okay.
it goes all the way to
That's not
13, 15. But what I will say is, when we was thinking about the idea of it, we grew up in places where, going to knock on people's doors at nighttime. I didn't, some parents don't feel the safety of it, but we want our kids to be able to still feel the enjoyment of having an event where they can do some trick-or-treating. So, it's in a safe environment.
That's
and,
right.
We're going to
I
have
like that.
everything we need there to make sure that those kids are safe. So.
Well, I will be there with a group of kids.
Yeah.
I will put the flyer out in the 3rd District.
Yeah.
And that's something, like you said, it's a safe environment.
Yeah.
And it gives them something to do, something different, and it exposes them just to something different, because you go knocking on doors. I give out candy, but it's not what it used to be.
Yeah.
And it's not about kids having on all their Halloween costumes, but nobody can come to my door 15 years old and get candy and not dressed.
Right.
Because I'm not saying you can't be 15 and can't get candy, but you're not just knocking on my door and trick or treat. That's what it's all about.
He's right about
if
that.
I get dressed up, I know you need to be dressed up.
Oh, I'll be dressed up.
Yeah,
so.
I'm always dressed up. I'll be
up.
serious about it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's just part of your youth growing up. You have so many kids that don't even they haven't experienced a lot. So why not just put on a costume and sometimes it's not about buying a costume. Most of my sister Shavella, everybody knows Shiffy, she's the best. She does my makeup, she finds a wig, she knows how to sew, she'll find this, she knows go to secondhand stores and you look up and I look like I done bought a whole outfit. So if you don't have money, just put a little powder on their face and a little makeup just to do their face and cut a little sheet, put it over their head. They ain't got to, but make it look like they're trying to look like Halloween, right?
We always buy a couple extra costumes for the kids. Hopefully they fit.
I was just going to say, so I'm wondering if you ain't giving out a few costumes.
Well, we do. We partner with it, like you said, the CEB, and they got a couple schools in there. We try to help out and make sure those kids have a good time.
Right. And what about your event that you have down to the Chase Center? I'm always involved with that.
You're always involved in that. We waiting on you. Listen, we're going to send our email off to you.
Now I'm not going to worry about the money because you're going to have the money.
So, December 21st.
You put me on as a sponsor, I'll make sure I do that.
December 21st, we have our Dream Come True Toy Drive. This is our 3rd annual year for the toy drive. It's been amazing. We've been able to service in those 3 years almost over 40,000 families, and it's been exciting. We've been able to partner with a lot of organizations, including BPG, who allows us to go into the facility with the 76ers, the Blue Coats, and Delaware State University. So, City of Wilmington Council has always participated in our event to make sure that we had Oath 84, Walks Chicken.
That's right.
We took care with the barbershop. We had BDD. We had so many partners because I had this thought around me was, if we're going to continue to have 50 million toy drives and kids going to have to go travel here, there, that just don't make no sense. They can come to one facility that's new.
Everybody
that's
just
brand
bring
new.
whatever.
The Chase Fieldhouse was built for us to have community events.
That's right.
So we're able to have that community event inside of there, which is amazing for our kids to see something different. Be exposed to it, because they can't become something if they don't see something that in that magnitude. So it's amazing. Mar Mason, he has the basketball breakfast club right before the actual trunk or treats. Toy drive. So he has all the basketball players, boys, girls, come in and they work out, and then when they're done working out, they come over to the toy drive. So it's an amazing event.
And I've always participated
in that.
Did. You always get my little T-shirt.
And
I'll be there again.
Hey, listen. You by far was the first council member to donate to the toy drive. The second year when we decided to move to the Fieldhouse. So I thank you so much. I truly appreciate you. You've always been there. So thank you so much.
And you know what? And I like to thank you for always being in a community. And our youth see a black male out there. Working hard in the community. Don't talk about it, be about it.
Yeah.
And that's the way I am, And I know everybody can't do everything and be everywhere and be everybody, but at least try and give back to the community. Let me ask you another question. We're working on this marijuana bill.
Yeah.
Tonight is a committee meeting. Last night it was able to get passed from out of the planning commission. And the amendment they made was that it's a 100-foot buffer. And if your community doesn't want one of the facilities, campus facilities in their community, they can just go to the CBA board, like the planning board, and just say, look, we don't want it. So I think the way the planning commission did it, to me, it was a fair look, my opinion, because it gives the 3rd district, the 4th district, 5th, 6th, whoever, 8th district, at-large, whoever, to say, look, we don't want it over here. So just get your civic association like you would do if you don't want a liquor store over there. Just go up there and say you don't want it. So to me, it's easier. But us not doing nothing because you're a legislator now. Dover sent it up here for us as legislators to say, look, what is your idea? If y'all don't come up with nothing, they can go dig tonight. They're still coming. This train is not stopping because city council don't want to take a stand on it. So as a legislator, you got to make some hard decisions. But guess what? At least they say, look, we're gonna let y'all allow y'all to have a little teeth in the game. So if we don't do anything, I want the public to know, if council doesn't do anything, they're gonna come in. Remember when you used to have the little, I can see my brother's football games, them little harp, they would, you know how they come, them steel ones? You got, and you see these little guys coming this way. And I always use that because I can remember these little men always run on this loud board. But they're going to come. The train is not stopping. So if it fails tonight, they're still doing a lottery. I think it's in another week. And after that, they're doing something else. So we can, and the only thing the artist is going to say is council just didn't take a stand on it. Okay, they didn't take a stand. Article going to last 2 days. After that, you have people from California. You got, this is $1 billion industry. You think they're going to just say little old Wilmington's going to stop? No, no. So if we don't take a stand, you may have two facilities, campus, marijuana shops in your district. You may have 3. I mean, if you don't do anything, where now they have 3 different maps. So now it's only 14 licensing throughout the state. And you need some money to get a license, right?
Well, it was a lot of applications.
Yes, a lot of applications because I went to 3 of the meetings. And a lot of them was from California, New York, because it's you know, it's legal, and they have these little shops, right? So they were looking for, and the guy stood up, he said, look, I'm from New York, and the other guy said, I'm from California, meet me in the corner if your zip code's 19801, because it's a social equity piece. So they put that in there so minorities can get a bite of this, right? So to me, the city of Wilmington and the residents have been affected the most. And for me, I think we deserve to have a canvassy facility in Wilmington. I don't care, just even talking to Robertine, he said, look, down the riverfront, it's nothing back there by Ubon's. It's nothing but empty buildings back there where they used to have clothing. And they hear that, you know, you have some people that live over by Trinity Square that say, well, look, I don't care where y'all have it, but I don't want it over my community. No one area can make a decision for the whole city of Wilmington. So, I mean, and that's how you feel, I get it. But this didn't just come up. We had a year ago. You could have been putting in legislation to block or say whatever a year ago. So you don't wait till the train that took off and this great pull down the track and, you know, start all this up. But everybody has a right to their opinion. But for me personally, I think Wilmington deserves facility, a campus facility. I went to the one up on 202, right across from Sullivan's. You wouldn't even know it was up there. I went to the one at Ellesmere. You wouldn't even know it was there. I went to the one down 40 when you go through the split to the right. It's a liquor store where they sell the crabs and all that was the soul food. It's right there. It's nobody standing out there. People got medical cards. People are going, like the girl told me, she got something, it's a cream, she rubs it for pain. I mean, it's all kind. I didn't know they got something for anxiety. They got something for hyperness, something to put you to sleep. I mean, I don't smoke, but I said maybe Christmas I'm gonna find me an edible to get me so I can calm down a little bit. But I mean, all jokes to the side, I think that, you know, it's like, you know, like the liquor stores that wasn't legal. This train ain't stopping. You know, most of the stores in the 3rd district, and I've talked to several people about it. They're selling marijuana out of there, right? Out of these corner stores that don't even live in our community. We're not getting a penny for it. They're selling drugs out of there. I brought in, I'm gonna show it tonight at the meeting. Paid the guy $20 to go in there. Brings out crack pipes, brings out chewy. These are corner stores in our community. He brings out marijuana. They're selling it, they're doing it, and it's illegal. I had a friend, one of the main reasons why I'm supporting it, I had a friend, her niece passed away from getting some marijuana.
Yeah, that's laced.
That was laced.
Yeah.
So off the corner, I'm
Yep.
not gonna say it's gonna stop it, but guess what? And she probably got it from one of the corner stores. Guess what? Now she can go in, a dispensary
Yeah.
and go buy it.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, for me, if it saves one life, I'm in favor of it. I don't. You mean to tell me this girl was going to college and now she's deceased because she gets some laced marijuana?
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I'm supporting it, because the train has taken off. People gonna smoke. Are you gonna get rid of everybody on the corner smoking? No. Guess what? I'm not saying that, but guess what? It's gonna reduce some.
Yeah.
What's your thought on the marijuana?
Well, I've always, I've got many questions about different things that's going on in council right now, and I tell them, listen, I'm still running my campaign right now.
Right.
And, we're here, we'll see what November 5th looks like. But for me, at the end of the day, this will happen before I get in, and whatever the decision happens, we'll move forward. But I've always told the community, there's going to be a lot of great decisions that come before us, and I'm going to always try to figure out what we get out of it.
That's right.
We need to be leaving here with something.
That's
I think
right.
there's a revenue stream, like you said, it's $1 billion industry that's getting ready to come inside of the Wilmington, area, but there's something that could be pushed back into Wilmington and those communities that it could be affecting, could not be, whatever the case may be. I just think as a state, we got to do better with when we want to start making these big dreams and these big ideas, that when it happens, it's also going back into the community that it might be affecting, right? 20 feet, 30 feet from now. And you look at 100 feet, that's just a football yard.
Yeah.
Football field, you know what I'm saying? So that's possible. You can have 3 or 4 on Market Street, So, and I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but I just look at those different scenarios and those possibilities. And we got kids, we got schools of Fieri High School and Coomba and CCAC, and, we got different areas where I just don't think it should be around.
It's not going to be around those schools.
No, I'm not saying it is or not, but I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
And our kids today, I'll be honest with you, they don't need that to be around and where they could walk into a store and now we got to have some type of reliability to say, hey, hopefully they don't sell it to these kids or whatever the case may be.
But see, that's what I'm saying. The corner stores are doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't have my bag. I left it in the car, but I'm gonna pull it out tonight at the committee meeting. I done paid a couple guys $20 to go in the store because the lady told me she saw him behind the counter, and I was like, And I said, well, I'm not going to call the police right now. Let me see if this is true. People, I like to prove things, right? Get a guy $20. He's like, what, $20? That's all. They do that all the time. What do you do? Come out with a dime bag. Come out with some chewy. Come out with a pipe. Oh, that's only. Oh, don't catch the right person there. So they're doing it in our corner stores.
But what I will say though,
and we're not getting nothing out of it. And I mean, just as you and I just said. People can say, oh, it's no money. It's a money stream, because guess what? We as council members can say, guess what? After we're going to say, just like they did in Philly with the soda tax, and it didn't start as soon as after the first year. I mean, after the first year, they had a conversation, because now they saw the money coming in. Then after, they're like, oh, if you want to renew this stream, this is what we want out of it. So they're getting $1, a penny, a nickel for every soda, every dispensary. I mean, you're going to have to put something on paper what you're getting.
Right.
It's going to come back to the city of Wilmington one way or another. And the one guy said that he wasn't trying to come in Wilmington because he's not trying to come somewhere that he know he's going to get shut down. So it's only 14 licenses throughout the whole state. You're talking about Smyrna, over up to Claymont. They're not running here. The guy said they want to be on Kirkwood Highway. They want to be on Route 301, Smyrna. They're not just, they don't want to go somewhere where they're going to get a lot of complaints.
Yeah.
I mean, and get shut down. They want to go where they're going to be comfortable. So, and then if you don't want it, you get your civic association together, like you're supposed to do. You have that right, and say you don't want it in your community. But just to sit up and say you don't want it nowhere in Wilmington, that's ludicrous. And I can see that article now. You're not on council, but I can see it now. City council blocks revenue for the city of Wilmington. I mean, come on, y'all, stop being stupid.
Yeah, But I
mean, that's my
I agree, and I think the corner store is a whole nother situation.
Yeah.
That needs to be in touch. I'm a firm believer that I grew up right there in 805 Morrow Street, Madison, between Madison and Monroe, right there in that Quaker Hill area, West Inner City. So I see the effect that corner stores have, and I'm just not a fan of them.
Me either.
I think there needs to be a business district or a business model where those stores can move over there to Adams Ford,
that's
possibly.
right. You're right.
Our liquor stores can move to Adams Ford, but nobody, my opinion, I think we talked a lot about food deserts and different things of that nature. And as legislators, maybe we just got to do a better job of figuring out ways to bring better, if we have better accessibility for our grocery stores and different things, so that we can remove those food deserts. But as of right now, we got Uber Eats and we got different things that are evolving and changing. And now I think it's time for us to evolve and change our community so that it's not called the ghetto or the hood or anything like that.
I totally agree. And it's not every corner store, but the corner store that's causing havoc, like on 23rd and Pine, it's causing havoc for me. Had it closed down, open back up. Talking about on 9th and Pine. I mean, so even if it's two of them, a headache is a headache. I mean, and it's been over 8 years going on 12. Like, come on. I don't think, I don't think if it would be shut down in any other community, it would be opened up right away. But right now, we got bigger fish to Friday night, more about the marijuana. But I'm glad you came on, Mr. Hackett. Could you tell them what you're running for again and the date?
I sure can. Once again, I'm Alexander Hackett. I'm running for City Council At-Large for the city of Wilmington. This Friday, it's going down. Early voting. I'll be there. Wilmington Pal. Don't miss me. I'm telling everybody that in the city of Wilmington, if you haven't met me before, please come down and meet me. If you have already, let's get these votes down early. I know you guys got a lot going on with life. Don't wait until November 5th.
That's right.
We can get voting done on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. What's that song? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Wednesday.
Come early vote. All right. I'll be there at the Wilmington Pal.
And Councilwoman Zanthia Oliver, vote for Alex Hackett November the 5th, but vote for him to start Friday. You have my vote, and I'm going to go to the Department of Election. And they're doing some early voting now because my sister told me she already voted. So I think if you go to Department of Election.
On top of absentee and early voting.
She did her absentee. Yeah, that's right, because she's not going to be here. So that's probably how she got in. But I will be there Friday with my ID. At Department, I'm
telling everybody, come to the PAL. Come to the PAL.
I'm gonna come to the PAL and see you.
Come to the PAL. I'm having a party there.
What time you gonna be there?
I'm telling everybody, we having an early voting.
What time will you be there?
I'm be there at 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay.
We having an early voting party.
Okay.
Come party with me.
I'm gonna see you at 7:30 at the PAL, and we'll be at the PAL. I'm gonna be there at 7:30. I'm gonna see if you're there. Make sure you have some tea for me. I don't drink coffee. Some hot tea.
I might have some donuts.
Donuts.
I might have some donuts.
Okay, I take a donut. I ain't gonna worry about it. Thank you, Mr. Hackett. He's always in the community. Vote Alice Hackett. I appreciate you and all the work you do in the community. I'm supporting Alice Hackett at large, November the 5th. Meet him at the Powell Center, and we'll be back next week, Community Crossfire.
I'm mad. Got to get back. I need some get back.